Today we are going to analyze how managed exchange rate is working in the country. Basically, we studied fixed exchange rate and free floating exchange rate in our previous sessions. So managed exchange rate means now exchange rate value of a foreign currency in a country will be managed by the government of a country through state bank or central bank intervention. Now central bank is intervening. It is not totally fixed. It is not totally free market economy flexible exchange rate. Neither it is flexible nor it is going to have fixed exchange rate. It is allowing the floating of the currency within two limits. Okay? It has floating of the currency within two limits, and above and below those limits, central bank will be intervening in order to bring the value of currency within the set limits. So managed exchange rate is also called a dirty exchange rate. It is called a dirty exchange rate. Why do we say it is dirty exchange rate? It is because now state intervention is there through the central bank. Okay? Government intervention is present by the central bank buying and selling of the currency. Okay? So managed exchange rate is that in which value of foreign currency is managed within the two limits which is set by the central bank of a country, okay, according to its economic conditions, whether they want to allow the floating of exchange rate above those limits or below those limits or within those limits. So here managed exchange rate means when country is going to adopt this type of exchange rate, it is going to manage its exchange rate within two limits. Now we see how it is working. Here I am taking quantity of dollars and here I am taking exchange rate in terms of rupees as we did last time. Whatever the currency is written on the horizontal axis, its value will be taken on the vertical axis. So if I say this is the demand of dollar, this is supply of dollar, today's exchange rate is 160 rupees per dollar. Okay? The government is setting this upper limit. This is 162 rupees per dollar. And here it is the lower limit which is called 158 rupees per dollar. These are the two limits which are set by the central bank of a country, our country. Now it is allowing the floating of the exchange rate within these two limits. It is allowing within 4 rupees, its floating of exchange rate is allowed. Now see, if our country is importing too much, okay, demand of dollars in international market by our residents, that will be rising, because we want to make payment in terms of dollars when we are importing too much. Clear? What happens? I say now demand of dollars that increases up to this level. Our exchange rate value is going above the upper limit. Upper limit is what? 162 rupees per dollar. But now as people are importing too much, they need to make payment in terms of dollars, so they are demanding so many dollars. They are supplying rupees in order to change them with dollars. So what is happening? Exchange rate will be going above the upper limit. What central bank will do in this case? Central bank starts buying its own currency. What do I mean by buying its own currency? Central bank will start buying rupees. What will it do? It will supply dollars in the market. I said earlier, demand of one currency will be the supply of another. Okay, by supplying dollars, central bank will be buying what? Rupees. So when its supply has increased in the market, see over here, central bank was buying its own currency. In other words, it is supplying dollars in the market. Now when it is supplying more dollars, again exchange rate is coming to these two limits, within these limits. So when exchange rate goes above the upper limit, central bank start buying its own currency or it is selling foreign currency in the market. So what happens? Exchange rate value will again come to the limit set by the central bank. Clear? So now see over here, if value of exchange rate goes below 158, like we are exporting too much, our foreigners, they are going to spend their holidays over here or they are bringing more financial capital to our economy. So what happens? Our exchange rate value goes below 158 rupees. Okay? So at that exchange rate, central bank does not allow that the value of exchange rate should be going below our lower limit. So what happens in that case? Now central bank will supply rupees, it will be selling its own currency or it will increase the demand of dollars in the market. When central bank supplies rupees, it means it is buying foreign currency or dollar from the market. So in that case, what is happening? Central bank's demand of dollar will increase. So again what happens? We will find that exchange rate will be brought into these two limits which are set by the central bank. So I can say over here, by using the market forces or demand and supply of foreign currency or our local currency, central bank is trying to manage the exchange rate. Why is it managing? What is the reason behind? If our exchange rate goes above 162, it means central bank will be depleting its foreign currency reserves in order to pay back the other countries from where we are importing so many goods and services. Our reserves will be depleting, foreign exchange reserves will be depleting, or government will be needing to borrow the foreign exchange from other countries. National debt can also rise. Or when our exchange rate value goes above the upper limit, imported goods prices in our country, they will be rising. Like we are importing inelastic products in demand. What we are importing? We are importing fuel oil, crude oil, edible oil, by which we will be having more of the vegetable oils for cooking. Okay? And many other raw material items which are imported one. So when our exchange rate goes 162 upper limit, our imported goods which are inevitable in the sense, their prices will be rising and that can bring us imported inflationary pressure in the country. So in order to maintain them, central bank is managing the exchange rate below this upper limit for a certain period of time. It may allow to go above the upper limit in the future whenever exports are declining. Okay? So when exchange rate goes of lower value, lower limit, so exporters will be discouraged. They will not be encouraged to export because in local currency they are not able to earn too much due to a stronger exchange rate value. Clear? So we find that in that way central bank is trying to manage the exchange rate within certain limits for a certain period of time. Maybe for 3 months, for 6 months, or for a whole year. And later on, when our domestic cost of production is going to rise and exporters are discouraged at this exchange rate, which is now set within these two limits, central bank can raise these limits above. Okay? So this is what the central bank is using. The market forces are demand and supply. It is not about the demand and supply. It is not fixing the value of foreign currency, but it is going to have what? The management of exchange rate by using the market forces of demand and supply. Central bank becomes either buyer or seller of foreign exchange in the market because it is going to manage the exchange rate within these two limits. Clear? It's not a problem. Should I go ahead? Manage the exchange rate is finished. Now today I am going to tell you what is meant by nominal exchange rate. Nominal and real exchange rate. What do I mean by nominal exchange rate? Nominal means what? At current year price level. If I say nominal income, so it is measured at current year prices. So when I talk about nominal exchange rate, it means the exchange rate value which is measured at current year price level. Nominal exchange rate means what? These are the terms which are coming to your data response questions even or in the MCQs. Okay? Like we have studied what is meant by the exchange rate. We did not talk about anything about the inflation rate of the country, of the two countries where the two currencies are exchanging. Okay? So when we talk about nominal exchange rate, it is inclusive of inflation. Nominal exchange rate, it is measured at current year price level. So it is inclusive of inflation in the country. So we talk about, this is called nominal exchange rate. And when we talk about real exchange rate, what do we mean by real exchange rate? No, it is adjusted for inflation. It is exclusive of inflation. Okay? When a retail price index of the two countries that is brought into the measurement of real exchange rate, then we can find that the exchange rate will be adjusted for the inflation rates which are present in the two countries. Okay? Now I give you the example, then you will better understand. Real exchange rate, it can be found by this formula. Nominal exchange rate, okay, multiplied by retail price index of Pakistan. What is the retail price index in our country? Divided by the retail price index of US. Like we are talking about dollar, so we are taking the retail price index of US economy. If we are taking pound sterling, then here it will be retail price index of England. Okay? Whatever the currency we are exchanging with, that currency's retail price index will be used. Okay. If I say today's in this year we are having retail price index of 105, or I can say 5% inflation is here in our country. So retail price index will be 105 now. Like we had measured inflation by using the retail price index. If you remember, by deducting 100 the base year index from this value, we will be getting there is a 5% inflation. So index value is 105 if prices are growing by 5%. Now this is for Pakistan. Now if we talk about retail price index of US, that is 10%, it means its index will be 110. Okay? Now rate of inflation in US is higher than our country. Now find the exchange rate value. This is the nominal exchange rate 160 multiplied by 105 divided by 110. Find out if you have a calculator what will be the exchange rate value now. In real terms, per dollar. Okay, look here. When
ये रियल एक्सचेंज रेट है तो इसकी ना इन्फ्लेशन क्यों ऐड की है रियल
इन्फ्लेशन को हमने माइनस किया है, we excluded inflation. अब मैं बताने लगा वो देख. We see at nominal terms our exchange rate is 160. When inflation rate in US is higher than us, our exchange rate is appreciating in real terms. Instead of 160 rupees per dollar, it should have paid at 152.7 rupees per dollar. Because now it is causing a depreciating effect on dollar rather than our country, because they are facing more inflation than us. Now change the rate of inflation, see what happens. Now see, if I talk about over here, Pakistan is facing 10% of inflation rate, its index will be 110, and US is facing 5% inflation rate, so its index is 105. Now just change these values and see what happens to the exchange rate. Here it is 110 and here it is 105. Now please find out the value of exchange rate now.
167.6.
167.6 rupees per dollar. What do you see over here? Now, as we find our country is having more inflationary pressure, our exchange rate is further depreciating in real terms. US is having lower inflation rate than us, so our exchange rate is further instead of 160 rupees per dollar, we need to exchange rupees with 167 rupees per dollar. Clear? So inflation is a phenomena which is causing either the depreciation of the exchange rate. If our inflation rate is higher than the other country, our exchange rate will further depreciate in real terms. And if the foreign country about which we are talking about the exchange rate, they are having higher inflation rate than our country, then our exchange rate will be actually appreciating. Clear or not? So this is called what? We say it is called a real exchange rate value, which is set now for inflationary pressure in the countries, in the two countries. Now I give you another name for this real exchange rate. Should I erase it? Okay. Now, what do we mean by purchasing power parity exchange rate? What is purchasing power parity exchange rate? Do you know meaning of parity? Purchasing power parity exchange rate. What it is? It is also mentioned in our book. Parity means equality. What do you mean? Anush?
Yes.
Parity means equality. Like the same basket of good we are buying in our country. Suppose how many units of rupees are required. If I say, take a burger over here, KFC burger. That's present in both the countries. Consumer item. Here is price in rupees and in US in terms of dollars. Now what is the price of the same KFC burger over here in Pakistan? Do you know?
Not for
Hardly the pound.
190 per gram burger.
यही सिंगल का क्या?
230 per gram.
नहीं तो
जो पूरी डील है उसकी 550.
550 है ना? 550. Okay. In America, its price is $4. So what will be the exchange rate? Divide 550 by 4. It will be how much? Find it out.
157.
Okay, $1 will be given to 137 rupees per dollar. Alright? The same basket of good is purchased at 550 rupees over here. If I take the round figure 600, it will be 150 rupees for each dollar. Now suppose our prices are further increased to 800. What happens now? Now the same dollar will be given to rupees 200. Because of inflation, our exchange rate will be depreciating. Our currency is becoming further weaker. The same basket of goods is requiring more rupees to buy in Pakistan economy, whereas its price hasn't changed in US. So if I say its price remains 600 over here, but its price goes on to $6 in US. In Pakistan it is not changing. So due to increase in price in US from 4 to 6, 50% price has changed. So its exchange rate will be the 100 rupees per dollar. Alright? So when there is inflation in US, it is causing US dollar to depreciate and our currency is appreciating. Less rupees will be required to exchange the same basket of goods. Okay? So when we talk about our economy is facing inflationary pressure more than US, then our exchange rate, our currency will be further depreciating. This is what the disparity means. The same basket of goods is purchased at different units of currencies in the two countries. For example, our GDP per capita, if it is 1500 rupees per capita income in our country at our price level, at our nominal exchange rate. So when the same basket of goods which is purchased at $1,500 rupees in Pakistan, that basket of goods can be purchased at $4,000 in US. So our purchasing power parity exchange rate is telling us that your GDP per capita is not worth of $1,500, but at American prices you will be at a higher level of GDP per capita, maybe more than $4,000 per capita income. The same basket. So their inflation is actually appreciating us, our GDP per capita. But if we are having more inflation than US, then definitely our real GDP per capita will be further declining. Clear or not? So real exchange rate, nominal exchange rate, balance exchange rate, I covered that. Tomorrow I will be doing the trade weighted exchange rate, and then we will be moving on to J curve. Okay? So tomorrow I will try my level best to complete this chapter, and then we will be starting with the last chapter. Thank you.